All right, here we go. We're live. It is Thursday morning, some period of time in July. It's amazing how fast the time goes and how slow it goes all at the same time. Hope yesterday was awesome. Hope it was really, really good. I hope tomorrow's twice as good. We're going to talk about today and how to win the day today. Or make for better tomorrows and yesterdays all at the same time. Anyway, what I want to talk about, and there's a lot of lip service, I think, put to this, and that's building a business worth having. You know, I know Gary talks about this a lot. Before we get started, though, I'm going to do something a little different. I would like to increase our subscribers, our watchers, our followers, our likers, our frienders. I don't know, whatever the heck it's called. I'd like to increase that because if we get a lot of folks on here that watch, views, whatever, we can start having some really cool guests on here. Not that these folks aren't really super cool, but we can add one really even cool person. You know what I'm saying? So if you're watching or if you like this or whatever, please recommend it. We enjoy doing it.
Share the stream. Just share it. Like it.
We enjoy doing it. So, all right, let's talk about businesses worth having, because I know Keller Williams and Gary and all the muckety mucks in Keller Williams is a big part of what they do, right? Businesses worth having, lives worth living, all that kind of stuff. And I'm poo-pooing it a little bit, but I think it's absolutely foundational. And I think I was giving it some thought. I think I know what goes on. When you start a career, a job, a change, or whatever, most of the time you're coming from a small place. You're looking for a bigger place. And so you'll take whatever you can get, and you make short-term decisions for long-range life. And so more money, more power, more this, more that, without thinking 10 years, 15, 20 years career, right? And you end up on a hamster wheel. Doing a job maybe you don't like, working with people you don't really like, both co-workers and clients, doing tasks or whatever you don't necessarily like, and you have to keep running. Matter of fact, you run faster or the wheel stops and you fall off and game over and you're doing something else. And I don't know if that's a business worth having or a life worth living, to be honest. However, I also know this. You are 100% in control of you and your career, right? And how you're going to do that and what's going on. All right. So here's what we're talking about. And so what I looked at is what you need to do is just stop for a minute and think about who are your people, right? Who are your people? Who are the people you want to work with, and who are the clients you want to serve, right? You can't serve everyone. Can we all agree on this? You cannot serve everyone. By doing that, you serve no one. Mm-hmm. All right. But if you figure out who your people are that you want to serve and who you want to be around and all those things change. And I'll give you an example. I like helping people. I've kind of made it I have made it my mission. I'm helping my realtors earn enough income via commission dollars such that they can invest in real estate, cash flowing real estate, so they can build wealth that will allow them to continue to work or not work, depending on if they want to or not. Different environment, different life. That's a business worth having, a life worth living. I want to help my clients get to retirement and be able to live a life they envisioned when they were younger, using cash flowing real estate to do it. All right. Now, I know there's a million ways to do it, but I also know that most don't do it. And I know that real estate is a way to do it in a good way, and I happen to know how to do it. So I can be passionate about it and I can lead them. I'm sure I could help somebody with a military situation. I'm sure I could help a first-time home buyer. I'm sure I could help any number of different avenues. But that's not where my heart and soul and my people lie. My heart and soul and people lie in building wealth and big lives in the future. All right. Whether it's you're an admin on my team, a salesperson on my team, or a client in our database. My world is about how to get you to passive income, a big life on your terms. Okay. And when I do that, when we have success and somebody buys something or invests in something or has success, it really gets me jacked up. All right. I'm proud of what they're doing. And I like it. It's really cool. So I think everybody should do that. It makes the work less of a hamster wheel, more of a reward trail. And I want to work harder to get better so I can serve more better. And it's the flywheel instead of a hamster wheel. Two wheels, two different situations. Good morning, Maria. It's good to see you. I love Chicago, right? Kevin in Navarre, we love that too. So anyway, go for the flywheel, not the hamster wheel. So let's talk about just for a quick minute on how to do that. A lot of people say, okay, cool, sounds great, but how do you do it? Well, I think the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out who you like, right? In the way I did it, I went back and thought about what deals have I put together? What transactions have I had? And not all of them are great. Some of them are, I can't stand that person, but at least I got paid. All right. That's not very rewarding. I mean, maybe financially, but not very rewarding. But there are many more now where I look at it and go, that was fun. That was good. They're so excited. I'm fired up. They're in such a great place. It worked. Yeah. And so what happened? Autopsy. How come that one worked the way it worked? Okay. Who are the people that I helped in that environment? What was it about them that made it work? Right. Because what's going to happen is once you identify who you want to work with and what it is you're trying to do, you're going to start attracting the people you want to work with that want to do the things you like doing. And it just all gets easier, less bumpy. It'll always be hard because there's some challenges. But now you're working with people you like, doing the things you like to do. And when you do that, better questions occur, better answers occur, and better outcomes occur. And it's so cool. So figure out who your people are. Just think about it. When you get off this call today, I want you to just think about who do I like working with? And think back to who your clients that have been just the ones that, and typically they're the ones that go pretty easy because they listen to you, they believe you, they know, like, and trust you. Okay. Just go back and relive that and see if you can find some trends or some commonalities. Write them down, 1, 2, and 3. I like this. I liked how that worked. And this, that, and the other thing. You just write it out. Okay. You might have 50, you might have 2, but just think it through. And then what is it that worked, right, from a process standpoint? And write those things. And what do I like during those processes? And how it worked and whatnot, and write them up. And then, so once you know that, then all you simply do is you start the attraction process. And the way that works is you start telling stories. You know what? We helped so-and-so achieve such and such by doing this, that, and the other thing. And what a great thing that was. It was good for them. It was good for me. Everybody got what they want. If you're trying to do this and you want us to do that, call me. It's what we do. And now you have people that align with your thinking, right? And it's a great way to operate. It's a great way to operate. So that's how you do it. That's how you can win the day today. And I think you should. I find myself helping every now and then somebody buy a primary residence, but our world is vacation rentals, investing for future cash flow, retirement, or young people buying their first house, having roommates, moving out, replacing themselves with a new roommate, having their first investment property now. So the rest of their life is now, or at least their retirement is set. Make sense? All right, Mark, tell me a little story in your mind. What's jumping around?
Well, what's coming into my mind is this is an important piece. Who's my niche? And what you've done very, very well, and I think it's defining who that is, and you've taken it to the next step. Is a business is something where you're leveraging systems, technology, and people so that you're not the only hamster on the wheel. And so that's the moving from a career worth having, which means I'm always the engine, to a business worth owning. I need to now always be working on the business, taking time to work on the business so it begins to work for me. And I have people and systems and tools serving those ideal clients. Otherwise, you will be fulfilled in a job worth having, but not a business worth owning.
And that's a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
That's a hamster wheel where you're forced to do some things you don't necessarily like. And that, I mean, that's life. Let's be honest.
But we also
more things.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to start off in the job, but if you're wanting to move it to owning the business, that means every day you're sitting down and saying, okay, what are the systems that then I can leverage?
Yeah. So important. Love it. We got Mikhail from Houston. We love Houston. Andrew's from Houston. Mike Irwin, New Orleans. We like New Orleans too. We like everywhere. Let's just be honest, right? Salt Lake, Jamie. Good to see you again. Julie, tell me a little story. Julie's in Scottsdale, Arizona. If anybody has any referrals they want to send out to anybody, you know who's where.
There's a great tapas restaurant in Salt Lake called Eva's. Love it, love it, love it. If you're ever in Salt Lake, go to Eva's. And maybe you know about that one, Jamie. It's a great one.
One of the places I have not been to, but is on my list, Salt Lake.
Oh, it's great.
Julie, tell us about this. How are you living a life worth living?
So as you were speaking, I was thinking to myself, and one of the words you used was align. And I don't know if it was Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, but it was one of them who said, don't work with people that you don't like or align with. It's not worth it. And the reality is it's not just, what is alignment for you? Define what alignment is for you. And, it could be people who you can think about what you like and what you don't like. So you can eliminate things like, some of the obvious things. They're dishonest. They're unethical. They use derogatory language every time you turn around. They're always gossiping. They're negative. They bring me down. So those are a little bit easier to spot. But who brings you up? Who gives you energy? Who empowers you? Who, because everybody that you interact with, not to sound all, they color your soul. They impact you. And whether you think they're leaving a mark on you or not, they are. So the more it is. So the more you spend time with people who are not in alignment with your core values, the more that you're going to become more like them. So if you're around people who you don't want to be more like, you're becoming more like them. So get
this is the 5 people you surround yourself with most often. Isn't that true?
It's everything, because you think about an example. John and I are from North Dakota. We grew up in North Dakota. So when we go back to North Dakota, my husband will always, joke because he'll say, I can tell you've been, even if you haven't been in North Dakota, you've been around your North Dakota friends because, oh yeah, don't you know, you start talking a little different and you don't even recognize it. So whether I'm around my friends who use the F word all the time, I come back and I'm doing that. And
I don't like those people.
So the point is if you're around people who are doing things or saying things or acting in a manner that gives you pause or makes you bristle, or it's just not in alignment with who you want to be, even if you are that, but you're not wanting to go in that direction, stop working with them. Mm-hmm. Fire that client. That's coming back to building a business. It's not just the people that you.
And let's be honest, this is harder to do, easier to talk about, harder to do, right?
Mm-hmm. It's freeing when you eliminate those people, especially if it's a client. And let's say you have somebody who's just completely dishonest and unethical and asking you to do things. Say no. And then you have more time when you get rid of that person to focus on going in the direction that is in alignment with who you are.
Let me just pop a thought on that. Easier said than done. I know you got to do the business you got to do, but what I want you to think about is you can start in a place that maybe is not great, as long as you know in your mind that this is just a step on my path. and my path is bigger than this and longer than this, and this is going to be a temporary situation.
Well,
it's
it comes
fine to
back.
do it that way.
It comes back to what you say, John, is, lead gen. If you have lots of leads to choose from, you don't have to work with the jackass.
Yep.
You just say no.
Yep.
Oops.
There's a saying that there's two ways to get rid of weeds in your yard: go around pulling up weeds, or grow the turf so strong that there's no room for weeds. And that's really tell that story, what John's got on the screen here. You will attract that kind of grass to your, that kind of turf to your world, that you don't have to take the others. And it's
I think about early in my career when you're desperate and you work with just about anyone, and there's someone who just, every time they call, you're like, oh, if you have that kind of client or person, you probably don't want them in your life. If the
Sounds like my first wife.
if that number pops up on your screen and it gives you anything but, oh yay, I'm excited that they're calling, you probably need to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
I can make that joke because I'm happily married. Destiny, tell me a story. What are you feeling about this?
Oh, I love it. I think, one of the scripts that I've started using, I was calling FSBOs yesterday. And one of the things I say is, hey, I just want to preview your property to see if it's a good fit for the buyers that I'm working with, and I think that sets the standard for saying, hey, we may not work together. This house may not work. But I think setting that standard is important. And even with the clients that you work with, when I'm doing an interview, what do you need from me? And then I tell them, this is what I need from you. And that determines whether we're going to be a good fit to work together. And I think that's it's really important to establish that
So
playing
great.
field.
So great. I'm just thinking about this. You go in there, you have some clients in mind, or at least you have a perceived client in mind who you want to work with. So you go into this property to see if this property is going to fit my either client or perceived client, the clients I'm going out to find. And it does. What happens to your excitement level? Goes to the moon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this place is perfect for so-and-so, or this thing's going to be perfect for my imaginary buyers that I'm out looking for. And you take that excitement and it just comes through to your buyers and the people.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I want to work with her, find me, my place, right? And then when you're in there, the seller's like, holy cow, this person's really excited about my place and how they're going to present it to people who like my place. I've had sellers like, I don't know if they're the right people. I don't know if they're going to like it the way we did and take care of it the way we did, right? And this goes to that. Oh, they will. They're just like you. They like that because I like it, and my people like me, and they like what I mean, these are ideal situations. But if you're not working towards ideal, what the hell are you working toward?
Right.
I think it's okay to say, I've had people call about a listing and say, oh, here are all the things we don't like. And, and I know that's a way that a lot of people like to, that's their negotiation style. Don't be afraid to say, well, you know what? I don't think this is the property for you. As the listing agent, I just don't think this is going to work for you. That makes them stop and go, whoa, well, okay, that wasn't working. Tell me what you like. Let's work together to get to the finish line. But don't tell me all the things that don't work. You're going to feel that. And that's in any kind of conversation, any interaction. You bring on the negative, it's adding a hurdle to get over.
Yeah, for sure. Andrew, you work with a lot of realtors. That's your job, right? You're the team leader of our brokerage. Tell me about how you react to this.
Well, I had two different thoughts. First, I want to tag on to what Julie said. I went to a real estate seminar or workshop or something, boot camp back in 2009, 2010. And my coach said, go home and fire your two worst clients. And I was a little nervous about doing that, but I ended up taking his advice and did it. And immediately 80% of the problems were gone. So I do think it does make sense to work with who you want to. Obviously, if you're brand new, it's hard to fire somebody. But, once you build it up, you do have to figure out who it is you want to work with and make that part of your strategy. Second thing is just talking about niche markets. I stumbled upon the niche market of absentee owners like my first year in the business. And before that, I was going after for sale by owners and expireds and things traditional agents did, but ended up getting an absentee owner plan. And it worked well for me because it was condos and townhouses, and worked because I was new in the business. I was in my 20s. Most of my competition was females in their probably 50s or 60s. They'd been in the business for 20 years. And the neat thing about the absentee market was that most of my clients were owners of condos and townhouses, and they were really easy to price because they were all built at the same time. They're in the same size, in the same location. So that made life easier for me. So that's really kind of got the ball rolling for me my first year in the business.
Love it. Love it. So let's talk about how to win the day. I think if you figure out who your people are, right? Just take some time when you leave here today and just think about who are the people I'm trying to serve, right? Get out. I want to serve whoever shows up. No, get out of that. Get out of that. Ideal world. Who are my people? Mm-hmm. If I could just say, mine are investors that want to build long-term wealth. Not the quick hit. Hey, I got to make 10 grand on this deal in 8 months. That's not me. I want somebody who's going to say, you know what? I want to buy this place, plant it for the next 30 years, have renters pay down my mortgage while inflation and appreciation drive the value up, such that in 30 years, I have this massive asset that somebody else paid for throwing off cash. That's my world. I want to help. If you want to do that, I got you. Mm-hmm. Almost anything outside of that, yeah, there's probably somebody else going to help you better. I want to play my game, right? That's who I am. You figure out who you are, because once you figure that out, then you can start doing things to attract.
You become the Pied Piper of that people group.
You become that, and then you figure out, what do I like to do, right? My ideal, my avatar, Mark, you like to say, right? It is somebody in their mid 30s that are planning for their 60s, right? Or somebody in their early 20s that recognize that they buy a house now, house hacking or whatever, they can be done early. Those are my two avatars, right? What do I like to do? I like to help them find properties. I like to help them create the criteria that they're going to use to invest in those properties and standards. And then I'm going to help them find them, and I'm going to help them negotiate, acquire, and manage those properties, right? And I get excited. Listen to me. I'm all excited right now talking about it, right? And then tell that story, right? Tell that story about what you do, how you do it, and you're going to find people. I get it now. Hey, I saw your video on TikTok. I want to start investing. Mm-hmm. We just start from a whole different place. And it's such a and now, I've only been doing it for 6 months, 8 months, but now I've got people who have come through the system all the way through closing, and they're so tickled. That's awesome. They're so tickled, even in this crappy ass market in which we live. Right?
Would you say they're tick-tockled?
Yes, they'd be that as well, right? So all in all, it's just a really cool thing. My life is getting better. And I'm living a life worth having. I'm having a career worth investing my limited resources, time in. And it's gratifying. It's satisfying. It's all that stuff. So I want Jamie's in Lakeland, Florida. We like that. Valerie in Niceville. It's so nice over there. I love it.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Anna Marie. Is it Anna Marie or Anna? Washington. Is that DC or state? Interesting. Anyway.
Hey, John, let me just say this. We've got people from all over the country watching, and this is awesome. And a couple things that help this go further in reach and impacting more agents is when you thank you for liking. When you comment, it bumps it up. And afterwards, when this is just on, follow John or friend John, however you do that, but share it. That will help us get this word out. And to John's point at the beginning of the show here is, as we have more viewers, we're able to bring on as cool a cats as we are. No, more cool.
It's hard to find them, but there's some. Here's the thing. Let's go back to win the day. Win the day. 1, who are your people? Mm-hmm. Who do you want to serve? 2, what do you like to do in the process? Where do you want to spend your time? Hire people to do the other parts, but where do you want to spend your time? And because now you're going to be working with people you like, doing the things you like. And then once you have that figured out, tell the story, testimonials yourself, whatever, in videos. If you want to do this and you want to do it like this, and this, call me. I can help you. And you'll start working with people like you who like what you do. and it's just a whole really cool thing. All right. So let's be quick. Mark, any last thoughts?
No, you've summed it up.
Julie?
Just align with who you are. That's the only thing I would add. Align with who you are. Don't try to be something you are not, because that's swimming upstream.
Mhm.
True. Andrew?
Find your niche.
Nice. Destiny, close us out. It's got to be good. You're the last one.
It's got to be good. I would say have a standard and stick to it. Don't waver.
She delivered. Nice. Very good. Very good. Let's go to work. Let's win the day. We'll see you all tomorrow. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.